Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuits. I'm sorry I've not been around. One of my employees had a heart condition and had to not work, and I've had to cover their shifts because we don't have enough people this time of year, with people taking vacations and somebody else out sick too. And then I had to go into the hospital a little bit too. So things have not been great for everybody, but I think we're making a turnaround for the better, and I'm back, and I apologize for my absence. I know I try to get videoed out every day, and I think I've missed 5 or 6 days at this point. This is a two-face hero click, and I'm going to start by snipping his legs off and making another immortal. I don't know exactly what I'm going to use for the body yet. I don't like using the same kind of resources over and over again. Let me see. I wanted to make him a size medium guy, but now that I'm looking at it, it might be better to do a size large and do like a spider body, but I haven't decided just yet. So let me snip that a little bit more off there. There we go. Let me see what parts we have laying around. Looking for parts. Looking for parts. This is like a set of binocular things from a like a Walmart adventure set, like that off-brand, like generic toys like Discovery or something like that. So I'm going to take this and see if I can make this work as part of it. Maybe something like that. Then I have to get like a rim around that. Let's cut these little nubs off. Something like that very well may work. I'm going to get a dab of glue to hold that in place. Okay. That might work. Let's get some toothpicks. And we'll cut those roughly in half. And I think those will do what we want. So now I'm going to bend that. I'm going to try to find about the halfway point maybe. I'm going to bend that partially. I'm just going to get a dab of glue to hold it in place as I work. Or stick it back in there. I'm going to get this one and bend it kind of in half too, roughly in half. Okay. I'm going to stick that back in there. Oops. Roughly there. And then we need to solidify this or it's not going to be sturdy to work. So let's get a little bit of glue. Oops. There we go. A little bit of glue, and a little bit of glue, and some baking soda. Okay. And let's bring these in some. So they'll stick to the base. And then I need to start strengthen those up a little bit. So to do that, I'm just going to get a little glue on there and let that kind of soak in. I'm going to get a little bit of baking soda. Okay, just dip that maybe. Yeah. Okay. Pretty sturdy. And let's work on the front legs. Bend those a little bit. Come on, fingers. Okay, a little bit there. Oh, that's a little more than I wanted. That's okay. Just rub it around a little bit. Get a good solid grab. Something like that. Okay. And let's make sure all our legs can touch the base, and it looks like they can. Get a little more glue here. Just kind of smooth that a little bit. Okay. A little bit of super glue. And we're going to get on those legs some too to sturdy that up. Okay. Something like that. Everything seems pretty sturdy. Get rid of the spider webs. Okay. Now we're going to be able to stick this on the base. It looks like we will. Alright, so let's get some cardstock. Sorry, I'm a little sluggish. I think I'm still a little medicated. That's all. Just a little medicated still, nothing big. Okay, I'm going to stick these side by side right there, just like that, with a tiny gap. Okay. I'm going to let that cool for a second. Get a little knife, cut around, real careful. And we're going to do the same thing over here. Okay, I'm just going to make a little cut there, just to make it a little more interesting. Then, let's get this dude mounted to the base, and to do that, I'm just going to get 4 little dabs of glue. And stick them on. Like that. Up, don't fall, just stay where you are. Okay. There you go, just cool in place. Get a little dab of glue there. Stick him on there, like that. I got a little bit of spiderweb action. Let's get rid of that. Let's get a little bit of glue, holding his legs running down to the base so that it's extra sturdy. Okay, something like that. Now we got to do something around his waist. So I think I'm just going to cut a thin piece of cardstock. Like that. That's probably way longer than I need. This would have been easier if I had them on the base, I'm sure. I'm just curving that cardstock a little bit there. Get some glue. I'm going to stick it on the back first, just like that, and let it cool. Then I'm going to start wrapping it around. It's a little bit thick. A little bit thicker than I wanted. Okay, no problem. We're just going to pull that off. We'll cut a thinner piece. We make mistakes sometimes. That's okay. It's all right. Let's try that one, see if it's thin enough. It's still a little bit thick. But we didn't glue it yet, so we can just snip it thinner. Get a little bit of glue. Stick it right on the back where I was doing the other piece. And we'll let that start to wrap around there. Just like that. Okay. Snip that off, just like so. Tiny dab of glue. There we go. Just kind of get that to hopefully not come loose. We don't want it to come loose. There we go. It's not coming, it's not staying where I need it to. So we'll just get this knife and we'll hold there for a moment while that glue cools. Okay. Now we'll get a little bit of super glue. Get that in there, soak in place so it stays there forever. Just like that. Okay. I think we're probably about, well, we're not quite at 15 minutes, I'm guessing. Give me a second, I'll look. We're at 13 minutes. Let's go ahead and paint them up. I don't think it's going to take a lot of work. We don't want any spider webs. So to prime them, I'm just using Rust-Oleum 2x Ultra Cover Flat Black Primer. Might have been sitting for a few days. Okay, I'm just going to set that there for a moment. I think I oversprayed a little bit. I think I'm still medicated from the hospital, so that's okay. I'm not hurting anybody. Another Immortal. I'm not sure what we're going to call this fella. Let me get a piece of cardboard. I got a soft makeup brush here and a little bit of white paint. Take a drink of my beverage in a second here. For I am thirsty, my friends. Okay. We're going to be real careful He's fairly sturdy, but we don't want to be rough. I'm not getting good coverage. This brush is not soft enough, or my hands aren't behaving or something. So I'm going to put that in my dirty water that's been sitting there for like a week. Get something softer. Try again. Where's my Mixomatic 500? There we go. I get this really soft makeup brush. I've never used this one, so I don't know how good it is. It's from the Dollar Tree. It came in a 3-pack. It's very sparkly, so it must be magical. That's how that works. And it's really soft, and I'm having no problems getting plenty of connection there, getting in the grooves a little bit. No issues at all. Super easy to use for $1 or for 33 cents or whatever a third of $1.25 is. I can't think of that at the moment. A third of $1.20 is 40 cents. So it's 41.6 cents. I don't know. I can't think. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I'm just going to hit around the edge there a little bit. And I'm going to do this whole guy with speed paint, I think. I think that'd be the easiest way to do that. So, when you're using speed paints, make yourself a disposable palette, or use the lid from like a plastic container that you can wipe off or something. And then let's hit this dude with a little bit of hot air to make sure that that white is cured a little bit. If not cured, at least dried. And don't forget, in the world of Nye, bright colors mean you're valuable and wealthy. So let's start with this skin. Now, concepts like black and white and tan and yellow and other skin colors in the future, they don't even think about this stuff. Everyone's just everything mixed, and there's no like bullshit racial purity or anything. It's just like everyone's just slept with everyone over the centuries, and so you're just different shades of tan, dark tan, light tan, whatever it may be. You know, whatever your thing is, it doesn't matter. Everybody's just one kind of human race, and that stuff doesn't get really thought about much. I just got my brush damp in my mouth there. Make sure my camera's centered, and I'm going to hit his face up. I'm just going to take my time. When I say take my time, what I really mean is I'm going to hurry up and get through this. Because I am excited to paint this. Okay, so we got his flesh covered pretty well. We're going to hit his hand there. Some bad mold lines on this hero click, and that's okay. If I'd have noticed them, I could have cleaned them up a little, I suppose, but I didn't, so I don't have them cleaned. And we're not doing competition work here. We're just getting shit on the table to make our campaign fun when it starts. Already getting a good look going. Man, that is nasty paint water. Alright, we're going to let the face and hands dry. So let's get down here on the body. I do have a metallic speed paint that I don't use very often. It might look cool. The problem is I don't want to use pure metallic because I have everything rusty and like corroded in the future. So let's get a little bit of brown. This is called satchel wood. This is a speed paint 2.0 as well. These 2.0s are really good. Don't get me wrong, I like the original speed paints, but I feel like these 2.0s are next level. A little bit of satchel brown. We'll put it right there. Boop, boop. And we'll use that little bit of warrior we already had left. And we'll drag this over here. We'll get a little bit of that warrior in there. We'll get a little bit of that satchel in there. And we'll make a kind of a rusty color, I suppose. And we'll paint up all the metal. I hope I got it up on his shirt already. That's okay. It's not going to hurt anything, I don't think. And if we play our cards right, this consistency will change and mix around as we paint this up. And depending on where we grab our paint from, it'll start to give it some different looks. How subtle or noticeable that'll be in the end game, I don't know. But I'd like to think that it'll have a cool effect. Since I've never tried it, we don't know that. It's just a dream, just a pipe dream. If John Barenthal is your favorite Punisher, please tell me. Because he was so despicable in Walking Dead, which is like why he's a good actor, because he was supposed to be despicable. But you got like the guy that plays Negan, I can't think of his name. Like, they're just good directing and good acting. Really is what goes on there. Like some actors, like, let's be honest, there's actors that you and I both know, they're like the same in every movie. You're like, oh yeah, that's that dude. And there's some actors that can just play different roles. And his Punisher is so good. His Frank Castle is so good. Okay, I think we got the legs and the body, the mechanical part of the body covered pretty good. I'm going to come back in there and I'm going to add a little bit of orange. This is called Nuclear Sunrise. And I'm just going to mix it in with the silver over here and touch around in some spots because I'm worried that it looks too conformed. There we go. Just a tad there. And I don't know what this is going to look like. This might look hideous. It might look awesome. We'll see in a minute. I just don't know. It might not even be noticeable. Oh no, it's noticeable. It's very noticeable. Okay, cool. Get some of the inside that leg there. And let's come up and hit him with some hot air. Let me get a sip of my beverage here. Get them too hot because don't forget there's a lot of hot glue in the build, and even though we put super glue, we don't want him falling apart. Let's let him cool for a minute so he doesn't move around when we're working on him. Oh, there's a bug in here. Okay, something we can do, get you a fractional brush, get an off-white. Let's do his eyes. Make sure you use your tongue and get your fractional brush very damp so you have a lot of control touching those eyes. Something like that. Okay. I think he's pretty dry. Let's come back and do his jacket. I'm going to do his jacket in tidal wave blue, I think. It's kind of an exciting bright blue. I like it a lot. I don't think we need a whole lot of that to get the jacket looking how I want. Now he's got a tie there and an undershirt. We're going to leave those alone for now. And we're just going to get this tidal wave blue. We're going to hit this jacket up. And make it look sharp. Let's just take our time and not over smear it anywhere. There we go. And just get it coated and let the speed paint do its job. It's one of the things about speed paint is that it'll do its shading and it'll do its different tones and it'll make it look good. It won't be perfect, but again, you're getting, a lot of layers of work in just one step here. So you can't expect pro quality stuff, especially since I didn't dry brush this with like very good gradient. With, you know, I didn't give it a lot of detail, so it's just kind of mostly white. I did it real quick and easy and lazy, and that's okay, because again, we're just trying to get something on the table. We're not painting a masterpiece here. Something like that. It's blue, dabba-dee, dabba-die. I'm going to clean my brush out, and I'm going to do his hair in a bright color. I think I'm going to use, what is this, orc skin green? I don't know. I don't know if I like that. What about familiar pink? I don't know if I'll use this. Let's mix it up first. That'll give me an excuse to have a drink. Yeah, I'm not sure if I've ever opened this. We'll see in a moment. Oh, I have. Good. Good, 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 good. Let's get that pink on there. Be a little conservative with it starting out, so we can get an idea what it's going to look like. And then if we want to darken it up, that's an easy thing to do. I think I like it very light like this. I think that's a good tone. I got a little bit touching his skin there, but I think it looks okay, so I'm going to let it be. Man, that beer's good. I have not had a beer for a couple days. It's been more than a couple days. It's been about 5 or 6 days. I think his hair looks good like that. Now that gun, I can easily use that metallic that I had there and do the gun. So let's just get a little dab there. Drag it onto the gun there. Drag it onto the gun there. Get that handle, front of the gun, back and top of the gun. Not bad. And let's do that tie. What I'm not going to do is tie in a speed paint. I'm just going to get something that's not a speed paint. I'm going to get this Warlock purple here. It's a pink color, but it won't be matching his hair. Oh, never mind. I was thinking I was going to use this, I have a contrast paint red that I wanted to use for the tie, but that's okay. So I'm going to get that pink. I'm just going to make sure it's good and sturdy and even. I'm going to paint his tie. Just like that. And I'm not going to do too much else with him. Let's do something with the base, though, because we don't want that to be boring. Let's get our brown metallic. Kind of get around on there with that. And since my brush is a little wet, I don't have to worry about it being too perfect or too anything. It's just going to be okay. And with different degrees of paint and water on the brush, I'm just going to make it look kind of interesting and deliberate. Okay. And then I'm just going to get a little bit of that. And a little bit of whatever colors I have here, and mix that around and just make some variation. Instead of going through all my normal crap, look, a little bit of that white, a little bit of that red, a little bit of that pink, a little bit of that metallic, make something gross, dab that around, and have a nice good looking base. Let's rinse our brush off, get some black. Go around the outside. I love painting miniatures. Even when I do it crappy like this on a crappy miniature, I enjoy it. I used to dread it. It used to take me 4 or 5 days to paint a mini, and it's just a whole big thing. I can't remember what Jakist said. Jakist, his YouTube name is Jake Staples, and he leaves like good comments on the videos. There's a lot of you that do, but he leaves some good comments, and he said something to me about a technique, and I was going to do it, and now I forget what it was. I read it like days ago. I try to answer every comment because I just appreciate that people take the time to even say anything, you know. I mean, I know my videos aren't like edited and high quality, and I'm not like some master painter. I'm not some master crafter. I know that. I'm not stupid, you know. I'm not like some of these idiots on YouTube who are like, I'm the father of this and the king of this, and I invented all the techniques. You know, I'm not that dude. So I appreciate it. I really do. When you guys take time to hang out with me and check out what I'm working on. It's a big deal. So I try to make sure I answer your comments and stuff. Okay, there we go. I kind of want to paint his eyes with some irises, so let's do that real quick and then we'll call it a win. So I'm putting that brush away. I'll get my fractional brush back out. I'm just going to use this Walmart black. Make sure your brush is really wet doing this. I'm just going to dab. And don't put your dots directly in the center. Always make them kind of looking down and to the left or down to the right or something, where it'll look super cartoony. Just like that. Let me get the little red here. I'm going to wipe a lot of that off my brush. I'm just going to dab it across his mouth, just to give his lip a little bit of a different tone. I'm going to call that a win. So there is... I don't know. The new Immortalz member legs. Little cliche. I'll work on it before I take my photo. Thanks for watching though so much. I do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon. Leave a comment and all the happy crappy that helps the algorithm. Also, check out the description below. There's a link to the Discord and the website. We'd love to see you come there and get some minis, or at least check it out if you're interested. There's a discount code for 25% off your first month. And I think it's definitely worth, you know, giving us a shot. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.